This week we are doing The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I'm Jamie Livingston.
And I'm Sarah Lyles, and we are so approachable. All right, so this week, it was your pick. Why did you pick this book?
I picked this book because we need a palate cleanser from The Silent Patient. If you tuned in last week or paying attention, we had a psycho thriller. It was terrifying. And this one is a feel-good, lighthearted, but still murder mystery.
Nice. I like to hear that.
I am excited for you to read this book. I have read this one. It was recommended to me by a coworker. So it's good. I'm just excited. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will say that I very much enjoyed this book, and I'm going to enjoy diving back into this one.
Well, I'm excited to read it. I mean, based upon the description, it sounds super fun.
Start us off.
All right, so the back of the book starts with, in a peaceful Cooper's Chase retirement village in Kent, 4 unlikely friends meet up once a week to investigate unsolved murders.
But when a brutal killing takes place on their very doorstep, the Thursday Murder Club find themselves in the middle of their very first live case. Elizabeth, Joyce, Ibrahim, and Ron might be pushing 80, but they still have a few tricks up their sleeves.
Can our unorthodox but brilliant gang catch the killer before it's too late?
I love this because it is a bunch of old people solving murders.
I think it's fun. I mean, really, I read this and I'm like, have you seen that show on Hulu called Only Murders in the Building?
Yes.
That's exactly what I go to. And I loved that show.
That was a great show. You have like your famous comedians who are old now, and they're solving murders and doing their own podcast.
Yes. And I loved that. So I'm excited to read this one. So tell me about the author.
The author is Richard Osman, and we may not really know much about him here in the U.S., but if you were in England, you would recognize that name because he's a game show host.
Okay. Yes. And an author?
Right. So he's a celebrity. Some of the reviews that I saw were like, oh, just another celebrity author like, trying his hand at this. So some people were intrigued by that. But yeah, he's 54. He's married, has 2 kids. British game shows. There was a whole list of them. Like Wikipedia was deep. I don't recognize many of the game shows, but I can see that as being a thing. One thing I thought was cool with him was that he memorizes his scripts because he can't read the teleprompter because he has some problem with his vision. Mm-hmm. Like he's had it since he was little, and he has very bad eyesight.
Well, he must have a really good memory.
Right. As somebody who does the news, if I had to memorize it, we would be in trouble.
Well,
the teleprompter is my jam. I rely on that. That is my safety net. So for somebody to do TV where it's live, you're interacting with people without a script or being able to read off of cue cards, that's huge.
Right. I could not do that.
Speaking of huge, he's 6'7". That's another fun fact.
He's huge, literally huge. And so, that's amazing. That's cool. I think that's really cool. I saw some fun facts about him. There actually are 4 books in the series.
So this is the first one.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Came out in 2020.
Right. And so there's another one that it seems like every year that he's been putting them out. So The Man Who Died Twice was 2021. The Bullet That Missed is 2022. The Last Devil to Die is 2023. And then a 5th book is set for September of this year, The Impossible Fortune.
And the best news is that Netflix is picking up this book, and that is dropping in August. So depending on when you're listening to this, it may already be out.
That's awesome.
I'm excited.
Yes.
And why should we be excited about this one, Sarah?
Because of who's in it.
Yes.
I mean, Pierce Brosnan makes me excited. He's a really well-known name.
Yes.
So
he's actually my birthday buddy.
What? Well,
yeah,
cool fun fact.
Right? So Steven Spielberg got the rights to this one, so we know it's going to be well done.
Right.
And then they revealed the cast. If you want to go and watch a trailer, I don't think it will spoil the book for you, but Helen Mirren is one of the roles.
Wow.
Big British actor. Awesome. You said Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley, and David Tennant for all my Doctor Who fans. Big name. Very excited that he's going to be in this one as well. So star-studded cast, that's just 4 of them. The list was really long. I didn't really recognize other ones, but you would recognize their faces.
I mean, still, Steven Spielberg alone does movies well. So that alone tells me it's going to be done well.
And Osman is also starting a new series, and that started last year. That was We Solve Murders. So you may have thought he skipped a year because we didn't have one in 2024, but he released the first book of another series. So plenty of content. If you do like it, there's plenty to read up on. And, it sounds like it wasn't just like a one and done celebrity author. It sounds like he's actually found kind of a nice little groove here.
And it sounds like he is consistent with his like murders and solving murders, like that whole genre.
And I will say that I think out of the lineup, I've read the first 2 books and I liked the second book more.
Oh.
So like the first book was good, but I liked the second one even more.
Oh, wow. Is it because you had the history from the first book?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Well, good, because I'm excited to read it. I'm excited to read like a fun-filled mystery, but not like a mystery, murder, dark.
I feel like it could be like a good summer read as well, because it is a lighthearted murder story.
Great. I'm excited. All right, so tell me about the ratings.
It gets a 3.87 on Goodreads. So not outstanding by any measure, but still a lot of 5 and 4-star reviews. I was able to find a 5 and a 2-star review for you. Which would you like to hear first?
Let me hear the bad.
Okay. The 2-star review comes from Exploradora. And she says, to be honest, if someone would ask me to summarize it in a few sentences, I couldn't. For once, because I didn't care for any of the characters. There were way too many. At some point, it was hard to remember who's who, and by the end of the story, I didn't even care who did it, nor could I say exactly who it was. I just wanted to be done with it. Very underwhelming book.
Well, sorry, Sorry, Dora the Explorer. It wasn't that great for you, but tell me about your 5-star that it was good.
Okay, Anne says, these characters are my life goals. Solving murder mysteries while drinking with my friends? Yes, that is how I imagine getting older. And if I'm not up to the same ridiculous hijinks that I am now, I'll definitely be disappointed in myself.
Now that sounds like a really fun book.
Right?
Yes.
Goals.
Yes. And so I found a 5-star. This comes from Harry. He said it was exceptional fun. The characters are very well written, as is the locality. The story jumps out at you with every turn of the page. There's mystery and intrigue, but also a solid dollop of heart. Couldn't recommend this book more. Other than I now have the full series sitting proudly on one of my bookshelves. Also looking forward to Richard's new series coming out soon. So
Yeah.
Cool.
He went through all of the books. That's impressive.
It is, because that's a lot. I mean, it takes a lot of time. And so if you enjoy it, to get through 4 books, you must really like it.
Well, and it's also a testament to the characters. I mean, Exploradora said there were too many characters,
right.
But clearly, well, maybe some of them die off, Like they're touching 80, you know?
You never know. Right. And then I did find a 1-star, which, again, there was only 2% of them. So it wasn't a whole lot of them, so it was hard to find one. But Joni says, okay, here we go. I love Richard Osman's humor, and I'm a huge fan of detective novels. So when this book came out, I couldn't wait to read it. I'll keep this short, but I just didn't get it, and I'm still trying to figure out why. It left a lot of unanswered questions for me and was having to go back and reread many times. It is an easy read, though, and glad for those who enjoyed reading this book. For me, I can't see myself buying the next book, but you never know, pigs might fly one day.
Okay. Everybody has their opinion.
Yes.
I haven't shared my rating. I just said I liked it. So, it might not be crazy. And I do need to reread this. So I'm excited to go back through it. I'm curious, is there a special old person in your life that you can envision sitting at their retirement home solving murders?
Yes, I can, actually. My grandma, Betty, who currently lives in a retirement home.
Nice.
I could totally see her all up in the business, drinking her wine. I love her. We've had several good glasses of wine together and good conversations, but totally could see her trying to figure out what's going on, coupling up with the, other people, and all of them with their walkers, trying to speed down the, to get down to figure it out. Oh, yeah. What about you?
Well, I mean, the person that comes to my mind is my great aunt Opal. And I lived with her when she was in her 90s. She lived until 104.
Wow.
And so she could find the answers. Like, we talked about it before, and like your old church ladies and their gossip, like, she had the answers. She knew everything that was going on everywhere. And so I could see her digging into stuff, but she would not have had the glass of wine, and you would not have been allowed in with a bottle. But I can see it. She was spunky. But I think that's why I enjoyed this book, is that, like, you can picture it. You can picture the old friendly people around you. So I'm excited to jump back into this.
I mean, old people are funny. Either they can get like grumpy and old, or they can be spunky and carefree, and because they no longer care what they say. And so to me, I've learned that when they say like they're grumpy, I just think it's humorous because they're just saying what's on their mind. There is no filter anymore. It's like, oh, yep, it goes from here to here. There's no stopping. And so it is enjoyable. And so finding older people in a retirement home solve murders is great. I'm excited.
I know. I'm curious to pick your brain about this one and whether it's realistic. Like, do we think that these clubs actually exist? I was wondering, if you had to start a club at a retirement home, what would it be?
Well, I'll give you my grandma hobby, okay? Don't admit this to many people, but yes, I know how to crochet, and I would totally have a crochet ladies. We'd sit around.
You'd have a whole crowd.
We'd get all the tea.
Yes.
I mean, I could totally see it. We would be there in our rocking chairs, crocheting, talking, because that's what old ladies do.
I would be the one that starts the club for line dancing. I'm a line dancing queen, and I have been dancing since like college. And it's one of those things where one of the places that I went, like one of the bars that we would dance at, there was like a night of the week that had line dancing, and there were these old ladies at the time. They were like 50.
So they weren't really old ladies.
Right, but they felt really old for me as a 20-something. And I was just like, that's going to be me. That's going to be me as an old woman. I'm going to be the one that's still like shaking my booty on the dance floor, thinking that I am still really good at this. So I would have line dancing club.
That's fun. And I mean, there wouldn't be a whole lot of talking, but there would be a whole lot of dancing.
Right.
And sweating.
It's good for exercise and like longevity.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm here. I'm living. I got it in my blood. The 104, like,
that's a long time.
I know.
That's a really long time to live.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Well, I am really excited to read this book. I think it is going to be a great palate cleanser because we've been on the trend, and I didn't even recommend that one, okay? So
okay, that's what she's claiming. Okay.
But I mean, to actually do a fun one, but also includes like what I enjoy, which is the murder mystery, it's exciting to me.
That's why I'm excited for this one, because I know that you will like aspects of it, and I'm not taking you to historical fiction just yet.
Oh, I know it's going to get
just
there.
Just
I
yet.
know it's going to get there. Keep reading.
Keep ranting.
And remember, you're so approachable.
Okay, the episode is over. Get reading.
But before you go, like, review, and subscribe.
Turn on notifications to get the alert when the full episode drops.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook to see what we're reading next and join the conversation.
We're so excited to have you on board.
Starting?
Well, because then I say, and I'm Sarah Lyles, and we are so approachable, and be like, this week is your pick. Mm-hmm. Why'd you choose this?
Sure is. We need a palate cleanser.
After our listeners gave us a confusing psychological thriller. It wasn't me this time.
Okay.